Howdy folks, I'm Doctor McFarland. Welcome back to the channel. It is May 5th on a Taco Tuesday, and I do want to compare some tones here, but for some reason I'm getting a little hum out of this. It's not that. It's not that. It's not that. Surely this cable's not bad. Surely it's not. You make a weird, awkward option here. All right, so y'all come on in. Let's talk. I'm going to go into the settings of the ToneMaster Pro and see if there's like a ground something or other going on. Preferences. So what I have set up here on my desk is a Headursh on a ToneMaster Pro hooked up to my Big Shot ABY toggle thing. And yeah. Display brightness. Inputs. I'm not seeing a ground switch anywhere. Nor should there really be a ground option. 8 switches, discard. Scene change behavior is discard changes. That's pretty cool. That's actually a fairly new feature that they've added. Song, switch layout, auto load. Lower left preset. Oh wow, you can do all kinds of stuff. 3 effects over 3 presets, 3 effects over 3 presets, 3 effects over effects off, 3 effects over 3 effects, upper left preset. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not seeing it right this second, but maybe I can just switch over, because that's definitely making a weird noise. Ah, the ground lift. Okay, that's what it is. Something's going on. Okay, that's the Headursh. I can prove it by playing the chord and adjusting the output volume. All right, so here's the ToneMaster Pro. Let's turn this one up. Turn it back down. Okay. So when I isolate them, output B is getting darker sounding. Which is not necessarily going to work for what I want to do. That is very cool. All right, so we got one of the Avocado brothers here. This is a Reverend Jetstream RT, which stands for Revtron pickups. They are a variation on a mini humbucker kind of deal. So they are humbucking. Let's go over to here. Yeah. Here's the rock reverb. Yeah, something's going on here to where I'm getting a weird. Getting some weird interactions with stuff. Let's go to scenes. So let me know what kind of gear questions that y'all have this week. I will be addressing some things that I might have seen online. Wow, that's just really bad. Let me switch. Let me switch these up here. See what we got. So this is output B now, and this is output A. See if that makes it any better. Weird. Lower path is output 2, output 1. Yep. So going back to the other one. Okay. This is the Headursh. Yeah, so the same thing is happening. So this output B on the radial, this has something to do with like ground loops and stuff. So let's actually go into the Headursh settings. So I feel like I've seen something in here that, okay, the XLR ground loop is off. Yeah, it's a little bit better actually on that one. It's weird that the Toemaster Pro doesn't have some sort of ground loop thing on it. But maybe I'll check my cables. Sorry about that. We got that. And that seems to change something happening with the output. Let's turn on this amp over here. Okay, I don't think that changes anything. That definitely changes something. Okay. Audio. And now the XLR ground lift is gone. So, I think I had a good ground lift somewhere. Yeah. Cool. All right, so we got that one figured out. So now I can actually switch. All right, we can actually switch between these two units. All right, so this is what we're going to do. You're going to have a blind test here. And the IRs are not going to be exact, but we can just kind of compare different things. So I'm just going to bring in, do I have my IRs in here? I feel like I should. User impulse responses, no. No. I don't have my IRs on this one, but I do have it on this one. So, I mean, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Let's just go here, go to Headursh, matched cabs. And let's just choose. I like the, what do I like? The 25 on 4. Yeah, 25 on 1 tight. I like that cab overall. Okay, let's bring in our Princeton amp. This is going to be a Black Prince reverb. Okay, go ahead and bring up the volume here. And what's up, Andrew? How's it going? Okay, I'm going to turn off this cloud reverb. Let's see how, also turn off this EQ here. Okay. So this should just be dry. Let's also turn off our compressor. I have broken. Something is loose over here because my drawer is not staying still. Okay, I have to look at that. This amp is currently a little too hot, so let's just bring it down a smidge. And here we go. Okay. You do not know what I am playing. Andrew's loving the FM9. He is now a fractal connoisseur, which he was a helix connoisseur in the past. So I have 2 units here on my desk. I have the Headursh and the Tonemaster Pro. Okay. I currently have the Princeton Reverb in both units. I do have a slightly different IR/cab configuration, but it's honestly not that big of a deal. And let's just use our ears and hear how similar these 2 rigs sound. Okay, so let's just imagine we have 2 guitar players in the band, and both of them show up with like a vintage Princeton reverb, which if we're talking vintage, then the tolerance and the specs and the component types can drastically change between two different amps. And I know this firsthand because I had a Silverface Princeton for, a few years. And then I went to a guitar store in Laverne, Tennessee, which is just up the road from where I live. And this guy, the store was called Mike E's. It was a very cool guy, very cool store. Loved it over there. I was sad to see it eventually shut down. Maybe for health reasons, maybe just for money reasons, I'm not really sure. But after he had a Princeton reverb in his store that literally blew mine away. And it was just more lush. The reverb was better. It had better clarity overall. It wasn't muddy at all. When I compared it to my amp was very muddy. The reverb wasn't as great. And just there was no comparison. So if that can happen to older amps, then why the crap does it matter if 2 different modeling units are just slightly different? I mean, you can turn the dials and you can get them close enough to where when you put them in a mix, you're never going to hear that. You're never going to tell, oh, that one's definitely this one and that one's definitely this one over here. And you're just never going to know, okay? You're going to be driving down the radio in the next 10 years and driving down the road, listening to the radio over the next 10 years, and you're going to listen to pop songs and rock songs that were recorded with with like Superior Drummer 3 drums and Kempers and Fractals and Tonemaster Pros and Helix Stadium XLs, right? You're going to hear those kind of sounds, those guitar tones coming out of the radio on these songs. And for all you know, you're like, hey, that's a really good Marshall sound, or that's a really good Fendery clean sound. And they're probably just using a digital mauler at that point. So on a true blind test, you're never going to be able to pick these things out. Okay? You're never going to. It's not even going to matter. So let's just go ahead. Here is my first one. Let's just come up with a cool riff here. Okay, goes to the next one. To the next one. And the next one. Alright, I got a tune. I got a tune really bad. Okay? Let's tune it up. So what do you think so far? I'm gonna try and take this live stream and cut it up and make some shorts out of it so you can kind of compare. Like this is what a Princeton is. This is what whatever. Tuning. Both of the tuners on these units are great. No issues at all on these. Okay. So once again, here's the Princeton, and then we'll move on to like a Vox or something like that. Okay. So. All right, there you go. That's the Princeton. Let's go to a Vox, Voxy Lady, and we'll do a high boost. And we'll keep that at the stock settings. But I actually want to save this into a different one. And we'll call it Scenes version 3. Okay. So I can go in and I can adjust all this. So I'm going to replace it. I am on the Tonemaster Pro right now. And we're going to use the UK normal sound. Okay, let's bring the high cut all the way down. Let's bring the volume down. And adjust our amp volume. Okay, so kind of clean, kind of gritty, whatever. Moving on to the other one. Okay, similar here. Let's clean it up just a little bit. Cool. Okay, this one's a little woollier sounding. I wish I could like change where the cable plugs into. That'd be really cool. I'm not seeing that option though. Not seeing that option. let's turn this one down. Let's turn the brilliant volume down on that. Okay, we should be a little bit closer now. Yeah, so now I'm matching the just a normal input on both amp models. So here we go. Other one. Okay, let's bring the cuts down on both of these. So yeah, we'll do something like that. I swear, they sound exactly the same to me. So here we go. I found the settings that where they match. So here we go. Okay, so tonally, it's definitely there. I'm going to bring down the volume of this one a little bit. Okay, one is just a little brighter than the other. I'm going to raise the treble on this one. Yeah. Very, very small. Where's my mouse? My mouse is being weird. Uh-oh. This is not going to be good. Okay. Okay. There's your Vox AC30. Let's switch it over now to, let's see, let's first do this one. Let's see what I can choose. A British Plexi. I think I'm already on a, no, I would need to change that to something else. Let's delete these. Let's delete that. Free up some DSP on this thing. A Brit breaker. There's a British 45 and there's a J45. So we're matching those up pretty well. We are jumped on that. So just the volumes here. All right, let's just see what we got. Okay. Okay, turn this back up. We are going to go for more of a grittier sound on this one. So it's okay if they're slightly overdriven. I mean, one can say that this one's slightly brighter. Not by much. This one has the bass down really low. Let's adjust the mid, treble, and bass on these things. So at least they show the same settings, but your ear will tell you if there's any difference at all. Okay, here we go. Oh, man. Yeah, you can dial these things so close that even in a mix, you're just not going to know. It doesn't even matter. All right, that's just for fun. Let's roll down my volume knob so we clean it up. All right, so that was still a little bit brighter. Cleaned up. That's interesting. Okay. All right, so something happens when I roll down the volume knob. On one of them, it definitely stays. It gets cleaner and also stays more bright, if that makes sense. That one just doesn't have the same kind of sheen to it. But at some point, you just have to decide, you know, if you had to choose, if you were forced to, let's just say this, if you showed up to a gig and you were handed a ToneMaster Pro, like here, choose your amp, your cab, your microphone, your reverb, your overdrive and delay, some modulation. At some point, you wouldn't have the real thing in front of you. You would just have a model of it. So you would just turn the knobs to fit what your ears want to hear, okay? It really doesn't matter if, well, this one's at 50 and this one's at 50, or this one's at 50 and this one's at 30. If you get the same sound without really comparing the two, then you're just going to end up turning the knobs according to what your ears want to hear, and that's pretty much it. So for me, for example, on this one, I would turn down the bass a little bit so it just kind of cleans up that extra low end there. If I roll my volume back up, all right, so that is your Princeton, your Vox, your Marshall J45 thing going on. Now let's go to let's go to a Tangerine. This is pretty good stuff. Let's go to a rhythm sound on this one. Let's go over to the Headursh. And this one also has a Tangerine thing going on. Yeah, I don't know why both of these companies chose Tangerine as the word for to describe an orange amp, but you know. Now, technically, the ToneMaster Pro is an RV 50, like a reverb 50 kind of deal. And it does have gain, volume, treble, middle, bass. But the Tangerine on the Headursh is based on the AD30, which is more of a Voxy voicing type thing. So, what's up, Dwight Bailey? So it is not going to be the same. See, this one has a little bit too much bass on it. Let's turn that up. Turn that up. But you know what? In a mix, I mean, you can dial those things all kinds of different ways, and they will just work. This one has a little bit too much, has a little bit more gain. I have a whole playlist on my channel called The Anatomy of Tone, I think it's called like that. I think so. Yeah, Anatomy of Tone. And it's me like going through different pedals, amps, all kinds of stuff, and just literally dialing things in back and forth and seeing how close I can get to matching sounds on totally different units, right? You can do this with overdrive pedals, with distortion pedals, with amps, different cab and speaker configurations, anything that you want. But it's definitely a lot easier to have a slew of things to compare on a modeling unit because they already come with tons of modeling stuff. So. All right, so the 80-30 is slightly barkier sounding to me. And then the rocker verb has a little bit more scooped mids. So let's just see if I can turn up some mids here. Maybe turn down some treble. All right, so there you go. I fixed it, right? So on the rocker verb, I turned down the treble and boosted the mids, and that more closely matched to what the Headursh Tangerine 30 was doing, okay? So we have the 80-30 head versus a rocker verb, but don't go out and buy both. I mean, you can clearly make one sound like the other just by boosting some mids, turning down some highs, and whatever else. So here we go. Same thing. All right, let's get a little drum thing going on here. Let's see. Do 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 bum bum bum. Yeah. Crank up those drums. Here we go. 2, 3. Wow. Pretty good stuff, man. I mean, I tell you what, you can You can just make them sound exactly the same, or at least close enough in a mix where you really can't tell them apart. Okay. Now let's go to a Mezza Boogie. We're going to go to a dual rec. Okay, now the Headursh has a few more options. I mean, they got like all the tread plate stuff. So I'm going to choose tread plate modern and see what that does. I'm going to turn down the bass. Okay, let's turn this down. Let's turn down the treble a smidge. Turn down this bass. All right. The Toemaster Pro treble is a little bit brighter. I'm going to turn the presence up a little bit. All right. I'm going to let that simmer for a second because no matter what I do, whether it's a Princeton, a Vox, a Marshall, an Orange, or a dual rec from Mezza Boogie, both of these units sound great. And yeah, they're going to be small differences. But once again, when you have two guitar players on stage, you don't want to sound exactly the same. You just don't. You want there to be a little bit of nuance. You know, maybe one plays a Marshall and the other plays a Fender. Or one plays an Orange and the other plays a Mezza Boogie. I mean, so that way when you mesh the two tones together in the mix, because it's all about the sound of the final mix. I know the bedroom player exists. I mean, I'm playing by myself right now. I'm not playing with a band, right? I'm dialing all these things in while listening in isolation. And that's a real thing. And you can think you sound good in your bedroom, but then when you show up to a gig or go jam with some friends, the same tones that you dialed in by yourself may or may not work in the context of a band. You may have way too much bass. You may have way too much high end. I don't even know. I mean, there's just too many variables to even think about. But this is a good example of if I take these exact tones and put them in a full band context, you're never going to tell the difference. It's like, oh man, you sounded better last week because I like that little 1% difference of tonality. It's like, dude, I mean, no one's even going to hear that, okay? So here we go. Now, the Toemaster Pro has a slightly more bite. I am going to turn down the gain on this a little bit more. All right, so once again, let's turn on the treble. There you go. So I turned down the gain, turned down the treble a little bit, and now they sound exactly the same. Okay? So regardless of what modeling unit you have, I mean, yes, the fear of missing out, the grass is greener on the other side. I mean, you're going to hear all the things, right? But more than likely, the modeling unit you currently have, if you have one, is going to sound just as good. Not really better, because, I mean, that's all subjective. These are all subjective sounds right here. You know, I got a certain sound on the Headursh, a certain sound on the Toemaster Pro. But the modeling unit you currently have is more than sufficient to give you the tones that you need for practice, for recording, for playing in a band, for playing stadiums. small clubs, bar gigs, your brother's bar mitzvah if you're Jewish. I mean, I don't know, whatever. It literally doesn't matter. Just show up with some gear, and you'll sound good. I got to sneeze. And my mouse is not working. Why is my mouse not working? Let's turn this off. Turn it back on. My mouse is not working, man. Maybe the batteries finally died. That's probably what it was. This is going to be an interesting situation. Where's my? I have another mouse somewhere. I have an actual mouse that I can use. I'm probably going to have to find it. Otherwise, I can't stop this live stream. That's going to be weird. Okay, let's go to one more. So the Headursh has Headursh models, and they also have Revolver models. Once again, it's really not that drastic of a difference. But I'm going to bring up a petrol here on the Towmaster Pro, and then let's go over to Revolver, and let's bring in the Her Demon channel thing. Let's go to like channel 2. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, so that's the Towmaster Pro. The deep is up pretty good. Let's turn that down. Let's go over to the Headursh. Okay. Maybe we'll go to channel 3 on this. One's scoopier than the other, but this has the ability to turn on a mid-cut. We can adjust the intensity and the level of that mid-cut. Okay, let's turn up the treble, the mid, turn down the bass. All right, let's open up a. I can't because my mouse is not working. Well, this is embarrassing. I was going to. I'm going to have to find a mouse. I was going to bring up my DAW, my DAW of choice, and do some recording real fast, but not if I can't find a mouse. Because I am a true professional online, and I never have issues. My live streams are always perfect. They're always perfect. Well, that just fell. All right. I have a mouse somewhere. Not a real mouse. Not a furry mouse. But yeah. So this thing right here. Let's do this. Let's take the batteries out. Let's see if I can get this thing to like kind of reset a little bit. It's not one to do it. All right, you're gonna have to talk to me, folks. I know people are watching. I know people are watching out there. But so far, that's the petrol. Let me play some more tones, and then I'll try to think of where I have a mouse at. Okay, we have a deep cut. Let's turn down the deep cut. Let's turn the amp up a little bit. All right, so once again, very slight differences in mid-range, bass, overall fullness, just all the stuff. But once you get in the mix, I mean, no one's gonna know or care. I mean, you're just gonna hear. You got the drums, you got the bass guitars, you got the keyboards, you got the vocals and background vocals, maybe some horns, maybe some woodwind instruments. I mean, whatever you got in the mix, and you're like, hey, that sounds good, And if you have to tweak things afterwards, because this is the thing, when you're mixing a song, yes, you're going to record the tones the best that you can, right? But when you're mixing a song, you're going to need to tweak the balance of not just the faders up and down, but also the EQ of certain frequency ranges of the instruments. So that way your vocal sits in a nice level above the band, but then the guitars are not getting too weird. I'm going to turn all this down here. The guitars are not, masking any frequencies of other things. Your cymbals aren't too bright. They're therefore getting in the way of the vocal. There's not too much low end in your guitar that now start masking other frequencies of the kick and the bass guitar. It's just a whole thing. So, when you're playing in isolation, it's very easy to get very meticulous. It's like, oh, it's not the exact perfect sound that I'm looking for. But once you get into a full band mix, it sounds great. And, no one can tell anyway. So, yeah. I got to find a mouse. All right. Give me like 2 minutes. I want you to ask me some questions in the chat. And when I come back, I'm going to address some questions that you guys have. It can be about anything, music related, and then hopefully I can get a mouse plugged in and get this thing working. So here we go. Yeah, it's just one of those days, man. One of those days where the live stream's going okay, and then you can't find a mouse. Or your Kensington trackball loses juice or something. Let's try this. I'm gonna have to go get some batteries. That's what I'm gonna have to do. But if you are watching and you want to save this live stream from being totally bored and whatever, then I need you to talk to me. I need you to ask me some questions, and we can discuss these things accordingly. See what these batteries do. I'm pretty sure these batteries are dead. Okay. It's not going to work. This is currently set to Bluetooth. All right, guys. I will, well, let me go ahead and play. I'll play just a little bit. Maybe next week I'll have the 2 units hooked up together so I can compare like delays, reverbs, overdrive pedals, stuff like that, and we can actually have the same amp or the same cab or IR type in both. So like for example, this one I can turn on Well, it's not going to be exactly the same. Let me put on an echo tank. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and close this out, though I can't. Can I go here? Can I use anything? Wow. It's like all this is froze for some reason. Let's see if I press that. What happens if I press that? F4. Yeah, something's going on here. Something is going on for sure. All right, guys. I will edit the end of this live stream after the fact once I finally get it closed. But thanks to everyone for hanging out with me today. Sorry for the technical difficulties. But at the end of the day, I want you to know that regardless of the modeler that you have, you can get great tones and you'll sound amazing no matter what you do. Okay, I'm going to go grab some batteries and hopefully this mouse will start working and we'll go from there. So I'm Dr. McFarland. I'll see you in the next video. Keep rocking. I can't get this freaking mouse to work, man. It's nuts. Why me? Why me? Playing the drums, Tatum. All right, so I think I'm just gonna have to turn off the computer, and hopefully the YouTube will just turn off or something. So I did try new batteries. I did try that. Yes, I did.